Good morning, dear students. Now, in this lecture, we are going to start chapter 4, Plant Genetic Engineering. So, this chapter deals with the various genetic manipulation that has been takes place in the plant by using recombinant DNA technology. So, this is the plant genetic engineering where we specifically engineered the plants genetically by making manipulation in the genetic constitution of the plant. So the introduction to the plant genetic engineering. Genetic engineering also refers to the deliberate addition, deletion or intention to produce a desired result. So genetic engineering involves the deliberate addition, deletion or an intention to produce a desired result. So such desired results has been produced by using addition, deletion in the genetic makeup of the organism. The simple addition, deletion or manipulation of a single trait in an organism to create a desired change. So the main goal of the genetic engineering is to make a desired change or a result in an organism by deliberate addition, deletion or some modifications in the genetic makeup of the organism. So a simple addition, deletion or the manipulation of a single trait in an organism, it creates a desired change. More commonly, it involves the transfer of a gene from one organism to another. Plant genetic engineering is the technique to produce modified DNA molecules containing new combination of genes in plants. So genetic engineering, it is commonly involves the transfer of a gene from one organism to another. If you take the example of the BT cotton, which is one of the genetically modified crop where a gene from Bacillus thuringiensis has been transformed into the cotton genome. So commonly genetic engineering involves the transfer of a gene from one organism to the another organism. So in case of BT cotton, a gene from one organism, that is the Bacillus thuringiensis, has been transformed into the cotton genome in the cotton plant. So this is another organism. So plant genetic engineering is the technique to produce modified DNA molecules containing new combination of genes in plants or manipulation of genes in a plant genome for desired traits. So the plant genetic engineering involves the techniques for the manipulation of genes in the plant genome for the desired traits. One can define plant genetic engineering in another way. Genetic engineering is defined as the manipulation or alteration of the genetic structure of a single cell or organism. So such genetic manipulation has been takes place firstly in the single cell, and from that single cell the whole organism has been regenerated by using the plant tissue culture technique. So the manipulation or the alteration in the genetic makeup of a single cell has been carried out first, and then from such single cell the whole plant regeneration has been takes place by using plant tissue culture technique. So genetic manipulations or alteration in the organism or in the plant, it is called as the plant genetic engineering. So it is the technique to produce modified DNA molecules containing new combination of genes in plants for desired traits, or it is the manipulation of genes in the plant genome for desired traits. Okay. In 1972-1973, Stanley Cohen and Herbert Boyer performed the first experiments in genetic engineering. They combined their efforts to develop a technique to clone segments of DNA molecules, that is to create recombinant DNA. So Stanley Cohen and Herbert Boyer, when they perform the experiment on genetic engineering, they combine their efforts to develop a technique to clone segment of DNA molecules, that is to create recombinant DNA. This technology brought the great revolution in biotechnology industry. So the manipulation in the genome of an organism has been carried out by introducing a gene from other organism to produce the recombinant DNA. So the first effort regarding the genetic engineering has been carried out by Stanley Cohen and Herbert Boyer to create the recombinant DNA. Genetic engineering is the set of techniques that enable DNA from different sources are identified, isolated and recombined so that new characteristics can be introduced into an organism. So genetic engineering involves the set of techniques. So that techniques comprises identification of the DNA, isolation of the DNA and recombination of the two different DNA to produce the or to create the recombinant DNA. So in such way new characteristics can be introduced into an organism. If you take here again the example of the BT cotton, so a gene has been found or identified in the Bacillus thuringiensis that confer resistance to the bollworm. So that gene is first isolated in the source organism, first identified in the source organism, then it is isolated and transferred into the cotton genome. So such foreign gene or a gene from different source get recombined with the cotton genome to produce the recombinant DNA. So such recombinant DNA the cotton plant carries, so it possesses new characteristics. So genetic engineering is the set of techniques that enable DNA from different sources are identified, isolated and recombined so that new characteristics can be introduced into an organism. This modern technique aims to rearrange the sequence of DNA in organism using artificial methods. For example, genes and segment of DNA from one species is taken, recombined and put into another species. So these are the steps of the genetic engineering. Here the artificial methods has been used for the rearrangement of the sequence of DNA in the organism. So the genes and segment of the DNA from one species is taken, recombined and put into another species. So this is the way of modification or the manipulation of the genetic makeup of the organism by using genetic engineering technique. So to perform such desired manipulations or the changes in an organism, there are certain tools required for genetic engineering. So these are the tools of genetic engineering. The tools of the genetic engineering comprises the biomolecules, that is the enzymes, spatial structures of cell, cell organelles or a specific region or a part of a cell required to produce the genetic engineered product are said to be the tools of genetic engineering. So these are the tools of the genetic engineering. Any enzyme that has been used during the manipulation of the genome, the spatial structure of the cell, cell organelle or a specific region or a part of the cell required to produce the genetic engineered product are said to be the tools of genetic engineering. Here are two major types of tools used in genetic engineering. So these are DNA modifying enzymes and second one is the vectors. So here we are going to discuss the DNA modifying enzyme and vectors are the tools of the genetic engineering. So DNA modifying enzymes are those enzymes which are required during the genetic engineering, during cloning of the gene, during the transfer of a gene from one organism to the other organism. So these DNA modifying enzymes involves various nucleases. because we are transferring the DNA from one organism to the other organism. So those enzymes which act on the nucleic acid, here we are going to discuss for or as DNA modifying enzymes. DNA is the nucleic acid, so we are going to study DNA modifying enzymes. DNA manipulative enzymes can be grouped into four broad classes depending on the type of reaction that they catalyze. So various DNA manipulating or modifying enzymes that has been grouped into four broad classes depending on the type of reaction that they catalyze. The first one is the nucleases. So the nucleases are enzymes which cut, shorten or degrade nucleic acid, both DNA and RNA. So nucleases are the group of enzymes that act on the nucleic acid, that is DNA and RNA. So these enzymes cut, shorten or degrade nucleic acid. Second one is the ligases. So ligases are enzymes which join nucleic acid molecules together. So for joining together two nucleotides for the formation of the final phosphodiester bond, the ligases enzymes are required. So ligases enzymes are those enzymes which join nucleic acid molecules together. Third one is the polymerases. So polymerases enzymes which makes copies of nucleic acid molecules. So DNA polymerase enzyme is required in the DNA replication or DNA synthesis. So in this process, cell copies its DNA. So while making the copy of nucleic acid molecules, the enzymes required are the polymerases. So DNA modifying enzymes are nucleases, ligases, polymerases. Okay, so first one we are going to discuss is the nucleases. So all are the tools of the genetic engineering. We are discussing DNA modifying enzyme. So first one is the nucleases. Nucleases degrade DNA molecules by breaking the phosphodiester bonds that link one nucleotide to the next in a DNA strand. So if you see the structure of the DNA molecule, the DNA has been made up of deoxyribonucleotides, and individual deoxyribonucleotides are joined to each other by means of a phosphodiester bonds. So nucleases degrade the DNA molecules by breaking the phosphodiester bond between the adjacent nucleotides. So such phosphodiester bond that link one nucleotide to the next in a DNA strand. So these nucleases degrade the DNA molecules by breaking the phosphodiester bonds. In 1970, Hamilton Smith at Johns Hopkins Medical School isolates the first restriction enzyme, an enzyme that cuts DNA at very specific nucleotide sequence. So restriction enzymes are the nucleases that cut the DNA at specific nucleotide sequence. So in 1970, Hamilton Smith at Johns Hopkins Medical School isolates the first restriction enzyme which cuts the DNA at a very specific nucleotide sequence. Over the next few years, several more restriction enzymes will be isolated, and these are also known as the molecular scissors or molecular scalpels. There are two different kinds of nucleases. So restriction endonucleases are called as the molecular scissors or molecular scalpels because they cut the DNA at very specific nucleotide sequence. So there are two different kinds of nucleases. First one is the exonucleases and the second one is the endonucleases. So exonucleases make a cut at any one end of a nucleic acid and remove nucleotides from the end of a DNA molecule, either from 5' end or 3' end. So exonucleases, they cut the DNA at any one end of the nucleic acid and it removes nucleotides from the ends of the DNA, that is from 5' end or 3' end. The second one type is the endonucleases. More precisely, they are called as restriction endonucleases. They make a cut at middle or internal region of the nucleic acid and are able to break internal phosphodiester bonds within a DNA molecule. So exonucleases cut the DNA at the end of the DNA molecule, either from 5th prime end or 3rd prime end, while endonucleases make a cut at the middle or internal region of the nucleic acid and are able to break internal phosphodiester bonds within the DNA molecule. So it cleave the DNA, it cut the DNA within or at the middle or internal region of the nucleic acid. Restriction enzymes or restriction endonuclease is an enzyme that cuts DNA at specific recognition nucleotide sequences known as restriction sites. So it cleaves the DNA at the middle or internal region at a specific recognition nucleotide sequences. So such specific recognition nucleotide sequences are known as restriction sites. So they are called as restriction endonuclease because they cut the DNA at specific recognition nucleotide sequences known as restriction sites. So restriction endonucleases make a site specific cut, that is a restriction site specific cut in the DNA molecule at the middle or internal region of the nucleic acid. So restriction endonucleases are useful in the genetic engineering because they cleave the DNA at specific restriction site. Furthermore, restriction endonucleases enzymes are commonly classified into 3 types. These are type 1st restriction endonuclease, type 2nd restriction endonuclease and type 3rd restriction endonuclease. So these different types of restriction endonucleases differ in their structure and function. To cut DNA, all restriction enzymes make 2 cuts, one each in sugar phosphate backbone, that is on each strand of the DNA double helix. So as you know that the DNA is a double stranded, so the restriction endonuclease enzyme makes 2 cuts, one each in the sugar phosphate backbone on each strand of the DNA double helix. DNA is a double stranded, so 2 cuts has been made on each strand of the DNA double helix. So it cut the DNA by breaking the sugar phosphate backbone, by breaking the phosphodiester bond. So to cut the DNA using restriction endonucleases, these enzymes make 2 cuts, one each in sugar phosphate backbone on each strand of the DNA double helix. Restriction sites or restriction recognition sites are the locations on a DNA molecule containing specific sequences of nucleotides which are recognized by restriction endonuclease enzymes. So restriction site or restriction recognition sites are the locations, are the sites on a DNA molecule. So such site is 4 to 8 base pairs in length which possess the specific sequences of the nucleotides. So restriction sites are the sites or the locations on a DNA molecule containing specific nucleotide sequences, and these sequences are recognized by restriction enzymes. These are generally known as palindromic sequences or palindrome. So restriction sequences or restriction sites are 4 to 8 base pair in length. If you read the base sequence of the restriction site, it reads same in any direction. A palindrome sequence is a sequence of a nucleic acid which is same on 5th prime to 3rd prime strand or 3rd prime to 5th prime strand of a DNA double helix. So the sequence reads same whether we read in 5:3 direction or 3:5 direction. The sequence reads same, so such sequences are known as palindromic sequences or palindrome. Or if we divide these sequences into 2 equal half, the first half is the mirror image of the second half. Suppose we say restriction site is of 8 base pair in length. So if you divide it into two halves, 4 in one half and other 4 in the second half. So if we see the sequences, the first half of the sequence is the mirror image of the second half, or one can say the palindromic sequences are those sequences which read same in any direction, either in 5:3 direction or 3:5 direction. So this is all about the restriction sites. The restriction enzymes can cut the DNA double helix into two fragments by its restriction site, as a result of which it produces either sticky or blunt end. So restriction endonuclease cut the DNA and the fragments produce as a result of its effect having either sticky or blunt end. So sticky or blunt ends are required for gene cloning, where the vector DNA has been joined to the gene of interest. So these sticky ends easily join to each other. So restriction endonucleases can cut the DNA double helix into two fragments, and as a result of which it produces either sticky or blunt ends of the fragments. Type 2 restriction endonucleases are most commonly used in genetic engineering experiments. So there are three types of restriction endonucleases: type 1st, type 2nd and type 3rd restriction endonucleases. Of these different types of restriction endonucleases, type 2nd restriction endonucleases are most commonly used in genetic engineering experiments. Most popular enzymes are EcoR1, HIND3, etc. More than 3,000 restriction enzymes have been studied in detail, and almost 600 of these are available commercially in the market. So there are huge number of the restriction endonucleases are studied in detail, and almost many of these are available commercially in the market. So this is all about the restriction endonucleases or restriction enzymes used in genetic engineering experiment. So this is the one of the tool of genetic engineering. So this is all for today. The ligases, polymerase we will see in the next lecture. Thank you.